Most people live lies, clinging to illusions of wisdom while drowning in ignorance. This is a harsh truth Socrates exposed, and it should jolt you awake. In Athens, he roamed as a gadfly, stinging the complacent with questions that revealed their shallow certainties. "I know that I know nothing," he said, a confession that infuriated a society built on false expertise. Condemned for it in 399 BCE, he faced death with a smile, choosing truth over safety. Today, we're no different, chasing trends, parroting opinions, mistaking business for purpose. Your discipline, your success, might be built on sand, unexamined habits, unchecked fears, borrowed beliefs. Socrates' life screams a warning. Without questioning, you're sleepwalking through existence, your potential squandered. Yet within this shock lies hope. His method, a disciplined art of inquiry, turns ignorance into power. By admitting what you don't know, you begin forging resilience, clarity, and unyielding spirit. In a world corrupted by quick fixes and hollow victories, Socrates dares you to reject the lie, to question fiercely, and to craft a success that endures. Will you heed his call, or remain among the slumbering many, content with an unexamined life? This is Socratic Spark, where ancient wisdom meets modern success. If you love timeless lessons and powerful motivation, hit subscribe and let's grow together. Istina, imagine a voice reaching across 2,400 years, not from a marble statue or faded text, but from a man as real as you, walking Athens' sunlit streets, his questions a gentle yet piercing invitation to awaken. Socrates, born around 470 BC, wasn't a lofty scholar in an ivory tower. A stonemason's son, a soldier who braved battles like Potidaea, he became a philosopher who traded swords for words, challenging anyone, politician, poet, or passerby, to define justice, virtue, or the good life. Misunderstood, mocked, and ultimately sentenced to death for corrupting the youth and impiety, he sipped hemlock with the calm of a man who knew his life's work was complete. Yet his death in 399 BCE was no end. It birthed a legacy that shaped Plato, Aristotle, Augustine, and even Nietzsche, thinkers who wrestled with his shadow. Why does Socrates matter now? In our age of clickbait truths and fleeting fads, his mantra, "The unexamined life is not worth living," is a lifeline. You face pressures he'd recognize, conformity that stifles your voice, distractions that dull your purpose, fear that erode your discipline. His method, a disciplined dance of questions, cuts through this noise, offering clarity to navigate injustice, courage to resist corruption, and wisdom to pursue authentic success. Condemned by Athens, revered by history, Socrates is your guide, whispering, question everything. Engage with his philosophy, and I promise, you'll uncover sharper self-awareness, the bravery to live true, and a truth that transforms fleeting wins into epic triumphs. Let's walk this path, one question at a time, as if Socrates himself were beside you, forging your soul's discipline. Have you ever felt the weight of a choice, knowing the crowd's approval hides a deeper wrong? In Athens' vibrant agora, Socrates stood as a beacon of courage, his questions a disciplined rebellion against unthinking norms. Picture him, cloaked dusty, engaging a young disciple like Alcibiades, asking, "What is justice?" Not to lecture, but to unravel assumptions until truth gleamed. Plato's Euthyphro captures this. Socrates probes a priest's piety, exposing contradictions with gentle tenacity. This wasn't mere debate. It was a warrior's courage, honed not on battlefields, though he fought bravely at Delium, but in the arena of the mind. His life brims with such moments. As a soldier, he saved lives in combat. As a teacher, he saved souls from complacency. At his trial, facing death, he questioned his accusers. Are you not ashamed to value wealth over wisdom? Plato's Apology records his defiance, inspiring his student to found the academy, where questioning birthed philosophy. Aristotle systematized this logic. Augustine wove it into Christian introspection. Nietzsche, though critical, called Socrates a pivot of thought. Today, apply this courage. In your job, question outdated systems. Why cling to inefficiency? In life, probe your habits. Does scrolling numb your purpose? The Socratic method, used in modern law schools, sharpens arguments by dismantling weak ones. Socrates is a lantern bearer in a cave of illusions, his questions forging discipline. Risk discomfort, Ask why you fear failure, and watch resilience grow, leading to success rooted in truth. Yet courage reveals gaps in knowledge, guiding us to the humbling power of ignorance as a seed of wisdom. In a world obsessed with answers, when did you last admit you don't know? Socrates' radical claim, "I know that I know nothing," was no defeat. It was a disciplined spark of true wisdom. The Delphic oracle named him the wisest, perplexing him until he tested others, politicians, craftsmen, poets, finding their knowledge mere pretense. Plato's Apology recounts this quest, where Socrates' humility outshone their hubris. In the marketplace, he'd asked a merchant, "What is virtue? Not to shame, but to awaken," as seen in Meno, where a slave boy discovered geometry through questions alone. This humility shaped history. Plato's dialogues preserved it, Aristotle built empiricism from it, Augustine found faith through it, and Nietzsche, though scornful, engaged its dialectical edge. Today, embrace ignorance practically. In business, admit gaps to innovate, question proven strategies. Personally, journal your unknowns. What drives my fears? The Socratic method in therapy uncovers hidden truths, fostering growth. Imagine ignorance as fertile soil, Socrates a gardener nurturing wisdom's growth. Discipline begins here, daily admitting what you don't know, seeking answers with rigor. This resists ego's corruption, building success on reality's bedrock. From this humility, we face the crucible where truth battles fostered, Socrates' own trial. When injustice looms, how do you stand firm? Socrates' trial in 399 BCE was a clash of truth against power, a disciplined stand immortalized in Plato's Apology. Accused of impiety and corrupting youth, he faced a jury with irony. Who improves the young if I corrupt them? His questions expose his accuser's weak logic, turning the courtroom into a dialogue. Refusing exile, he proposed free meals as punishment, a gadfly stinging Athens awake. His death sentence didn't silence him, it amplified his truth. Stories abound. Debating sophists like Gorgias, he prioritized truth over rhetoric. Plato's work spread this ethos. Aristotle's ethics echoed it. Augustine saw parallels of Christ. Nietzsche critiqued yet admired the defiance. Today, face your trials, work conflicts, personal doubts, with Socratic clarity. Question evidence. Seek facts. In law, the method dissects arguments. In life, it builds integrity. Picture truth as a sword forged in adversity. Socrates a smith. Discipline means enduring scrutiny, turning challenges into triumphs. This trial reveals the cost of living unexamined, our next focus. In quiet moments, does your life feel like motion without meaning? Socrates' trial cry, the unexamined life is not worth living, demands reflection. In Phaedo, as hemlock neared, he discussed the soul's immortality, urging friends to examine virtue. Dialogues with Crito show him guiding others from complacency to clarity. Plato's idealism, Aristotle's science, Augustine's confessions, and Nietzsche critiques all stem from this call to examine. Practically, journal daily. What values shape my choices? In therapy, Socratic questioning uncovers anxiety's roots. Life is a ship, examination its compass. Without it, you drift. Discipline means reflecting consistently, aligning actions with purpose or epic success. Examination leads to virtue, the soul's true guide. Lost in moral fog? Socrates saw virtue as knowledge, a compass for the soul. In Protagoras, he debates its teachability, concluding it's awakened through inquiry. Guiding Alcibiades in Plato's works, he steered ambition toward ethics. Plato's forms, Aristotle's golden mean, Augustine's grace, and Nietzsche's transvaluation all grapple with this. Today, align decisions with virtue. Ethical choices build trust, success. The Socratic method in ethics classes fosters this. Virtue is the anchor in life's storms. Socrates a navigator. Discipline, Arceus is virtuous, daily. Virtue's legacy lives in dialogue, our final pillar. Doubt and division cloud our world, but dialogue offers clarity, Socrates' gift. In Republic, he engages all, sparking truth through exchange. His death fueled Plato's Academy, Aristotle's Lyceum, Augustine's theology, and Nietzsche's critiques. Today, classrooms use his method to sharpen thinking. In life, it resolves conflicts. Dialogue is a bridge over ignorance. Socrates a builder. Discipline. Listen actively. Question deeply. Forging success through connection. You're watching Socratic Spark. If his philosophy sparks something in you, subscribe now and keep the flame of knowledge alive. Have you ever stood at a crossroads, paralyzed by uncertainty, yet sensed that doubt could be your greatest ally? Socrates, the relentless questioner of Athens, transformed doubt from a weakness into a disciplined force for wisdom, a cornerstone of a philosophy that resonates through the ages. In the bustling agora, picture him engaging a confident sophist like Thrasymachus, as depicted in Plato's Republic, asking, "What is justice?" with a disarming smile. Each response from the sophist, brimming with bravado, crumbles under Socrates' probing, revealing doubt as a gateway to deeper understanding. This wasn't skepticism for its own sake. It was a disciplined practice, a methodical peeling away of false certainties to uncover truth's core. Socrates lived this daily, wondering Athens not to assert, but to inquire, his life a testament to doubt as a tool for forging ironclad discipline. Consider a vivid moment from Plato's Theaetetus, where Socrates compares himself to a midwife, delivering knowledge by nurturing doubt in others. He questions a young mathematician, Theaetetus, about the nature of knowledge, guiding him to admit the limits of his understanding. This scene, alive with intellectual tension, shows Socrates' doubt as a disciplined act, not destructive, but creative, birthing clarity from confusion. His military service, too, reflects this. At Potidaea, he stood resolute in chaos, questioning not just enemies but the purpose of conflict itself, as Xenophon recounts. His doubt wasn't paralyzing. It was purposeful, a disciplined lens sharpening his focus on virtue. This approach reverberated through history. Plato, his student, wove doubt into his dialogues, creating a philosophical tradition that questioned reality itself. His theory of forms a direct heir to Socratic inquiry. Aristotle, building on this, used systematic doubt to ground his scientific method, questioning observations to build knowledge. Augustine, in his Confessions, embraced doubt as a path to faith, wrestling with his own uncertainties in a Socratic spirit, seeking divine truth through self-examination. Even Nietzsche, who called Socrates a decadent for his rational skepticism, employed doubt to dismantle traditional morality, creating his own philosophy of the Übermensch. The Socratic method's modern echo is clear. In philosophy seminars at institutions like Harvard, students debate ethical dilemmas using Socratic questioning, learning to doubt assumptions to uncover truth. In cognitive behavioral therapy, practitioners use it to help patients question irrational beliefs, transforming doubt into a tool for mental clarity. For you, listener, this discipline of doubt offers practical power. In your career, doubt the best practices that stifle innovation. Ask, why do we do it this way? And propose better solutions. In personal growth, journal nightly, what assumption held me back today? This mirrors Socrates' daily practice of self-scrutiny, building resilience by confronting uncertainties head-on. Doubt your fears. Why do they control you? Question your goals. Are they yours or society's? The Socratic method, as used in modern education, fosters critical thinking by encouraging students to challenge texts, not accept them blindly. In workplaces, it drives innovation. Think of tech teams at companies like Google, where questioning assumptions leads to breakthroughs like new algorithms. Doubt, disciplined, is a forge. Each question hammers away impurities, shaping a stronger, clearer you. Metaphorically, Socrates is the alchemist of doubt, turning the lead of uncertainty into the gold of wisdom. His life shows that doubt isn't chaos. It's a structured path, requiring the discipline to question persistently, to sit with discomfort, to resist the lure of easy answers. This practice resists the corruption of dogma, the temptation to accept unexamined belief for comfort. In a world of loud certainties, social media gurus, rigid ideologies, Socratic doubt is your shield, guarding your mind from falsehoods. Start small. Each morning, ask one question about your day's purpose. Over time, this builds an ironclad discipline, aligning your actions with truth, paving the way for epic success not as fleeting fame, but as a life of purpose. Yet doubt alone can be daunting. It thrives when tempered by adversity, where challenges become the crucible for wisdom's growth. When life storms batter your resolve, do you crumble or do you find strength in the struggle? Socrates, Athens' unyielding gadfly, saw adversity not as a curse but as a forge for wisdom, a disciplined crucible where the soul's true metal is tested. Picture him in 399 BCE, standing in that Athenian courtroom, facing a jury ready to condemn him. As Plato's apology recounts, he speaks with serene defiance. No evil can happen to a good man, either in life or after death. This wasn't bravado. It was wisdom born from a life of trials, war, poverty, public scorn, each met with disciplined inquiry that transformed hardship into insight. His stories are vivid. As a soldier at Delium, Socrates faced death with calm, retreating only when strategy demanded, as Xenophon describes. In the Agora, he endured ridicule from sophists like Callicles, who mocked his poverty yet faltered under his questions about power's true value, as seen in Plato's Gorgias. Even in his final days, imprisoned, he turned adversity into dialogue, discussing the soul's immortality with friends in Phaedo, his mind unshaken by the hemlock awaiting him. These moments reveal a discipline that thrives in hardship, using adversity as a lens to sharpen wisdom. Socrates' influence echoes through time. Plato, witnessing his teacher's trial, channeled this resilience into his dialogues, portraying philosophy as a battle against life's chaos. Aristotle's Ethics, emphasizing the virtuous mean, reflects Socrates' ability to find balance amid turmoil. Augustine, facing his own spiritual crises, drew on Socratic resilience to navigate doubt. Toward faith, Nietzsche, though critical of Socrates' rationalism, admired his defiance, using adversity to fuel his own radical ideas. Today, the Socratic method in adverse-to-focus therapies, like those for trauma recovery, helps individuals question despairing narratives, finding meaning in pain. In leadership training, it teaches executives to view setbacks as opportunities for growth, as seen in programs at Stanford's Business School. Practically, you can harness adversity's wisdom. When facing failure, a lost job, a broken relationship, ask Socratically, what does this teach me about my values? Journal your setbacks. How has this challenge revealed my strengths? In professional settings, question crises. What opportunity hides in this problem? This mirrors Socrates' approach, turning obstacles into stepping stones. In modern contexts, consider entrepreneurs like those at Tesla, who question setbacks to innovate, or athletes who analyze losses to refine skills. Adversity is the anvil. Your questions are the hammer, forging wisdom from struggle. Discipline lies in persisting, daily reflecting on challenges, seeking their lessons, resisting the urge to despair. Socrates is a lighthouse in adversity's storm, his questions guiding you to wisdom's shore. This discipline resists corruption, self-pity, blame, or avoidance, transforming pain into purpose. Start by questioning one hardship today. What truth does this reveal? Over time, this builds a resilience that fuels epic success, not as external accolades, but as a soul tempered by life's fires, ready for any challenge. This strength through adversity paved the way for eudaimonia, the flourishing life Socrates championed. What does it mean to truly flourish, to live a life that sings with purpose? Socrates, the soul's navigator, so eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or the good life, as the ultimate aim, achieved not through wealth or fame, but through disciplined pursuit of virtue and wisdom. In Plato's Symposium, he recounts Socrates at a banquet, questioning love's nature with poets and lovers, guiding them toward a vision of beauty as a path to the good. His query, what is the good, wasn't abstract. It was a call to align every action with the soul's deepest purpose, as seen when he mentored Alcibiades, urging him to seek virtue over ambition. His life embodied this. Despite poverty, Socrates lived richly, finding joy in inquiry, as Xenophon notes in Memorabilia. At his trial, he declared, "The greatest good of man is daily to converse about virtue, choosing eudaimonia over safety." Plato's dialogues, like Euthydemus, explore this flourishing through questioning, shaping his academy's focus on the good life. Aristotle defined eudaimonia as activity in accordance with virtue, directly from Socrates. Augustine tied it to divine grace, while Nietzsche, redefining it, still wrestled with Socrates' vision. Today, positive psychology echoes this, using Socratic questioning to align values with actions for well-being. Apply this practically. Each morning, ask, what action today serves my highest good? In work, question projects. Does this align with my purpose? Journal nightly. Did I live virtuously today? In education, Socratic seminars foster purpose-driven thinking. In life, this builds discipline, choosing meaningful goals over fleeting pleasures. Eudaimonia is a garden, Socrates a cultivator, his questions pruning distractions to nature flourishing. Discipline means daily alignment with virtue, resisting society's shallow rewards for a life of depth. This pursuit of flourishing demands a gadfly's persistence, forever questioning to sustain the good life. When complacency creeps in, who stays your soul awake? Socrates, Athens' eternal gadfly, so his role is stinging the sluggish horse of society, a disciplined mission to provoke thought and combat stagnation. In Apology, he declares, I am that gadfly which God has attached to the state, justifying his relentless questioning of Athenians' unexamined lives. Picture him in the marketplace, challenging a smug politician like Anytus with, what is power's true worth? As Plato describes, sparking unease but also awakening. His gadfly spirit lived vividly. In Crito, he refuses escape, questioning loyalty to unjust laws, choosing principle over survival. His death galvanized Plato's dialogues, Aristotle's ethics, Augustine's moral inquiries, and Nietzsche's provocations, all inheriting his disruptive zeal. Today, the Socratic method in journalism, think investigative reporters, stings power with questions, while in personal growth, it challenges complacency. Practically, be your own gadfly. Question routine. Why repeat what drains you? In teams, ask, are we settling for less? Discipline lies in constant vigilance, resisting Inertia's pull. Socrates is a spark in stagnation's dark, his questions igniting progress. This eternal prodding ensures success as a living, evolving pursuit. From this gadfly's sting, we return to Socrates' core wisdom, ready to conclude. Have you ever looked within and wondered who you truly are beneath the roles you play? Socrates, the relentless seeker of truth, believed self-knowledge was a bedrock of a disciplined life, the key to unlocking wisdom's full potential. In Plato's Phaedrus, he engages a young orator in a dialogue about the soul, probing with questions like, what drives your desires, to reveal the inner forces shaping action. His famous maxim, inscribed at Delphi, know thyself, wasn't a platitude. It was a disciplined call to introspection, a challenge to peel back the layers of ego, habit, and societal expectation to uncover the authentic self. Socrates lived this daily, wandering Athens' streets, not to preach, but to question, guiding others to confront their own souls with unflinching honesty. Picture a moment from Xenophon's Memorabilia, where Socrates converses with Euthydemus, a youth puffed up with bookish knowledge. Do you know yourself? Socrates asks, dismantling the young man's pride by exposing his unexamined assumptions. This wasn't cruelty. It was care, a disciplined effort to help others see themselves clearly, as a sculptor chisels stone to reveal form. His own life reflected this. Despite his poverty and lack of formal status, Socrates radiated confidence, not from arrogance, but from a deep understanding of his values, as seen when he rejected wealth for wisdom in Plato's Apology. Even at his trial, he questioned himself as much as his accusers, stating, I have never lived an ordinary life, but one dedicated to virtue. This self-knowledge fortified him, enabling him to face death with serenity, his soul aligned with truth. The ripple of this philosophy shaped history. Plato, inspired by Socrates, explored the soul's nature in dialogues like Republic, where self-knowledge underpins a just city and individual. Aristotle's Ethics, emphasizing self-awareness as key to the virtuous mean, owe a debt to this focus. Augustine, in his Confessions, used Socratic introspection to chart his journey from sin to salvation, questioning his motives to find God. Nietzsche, while critical of Socrates' rationality, embraced self-knowledge in his call to become who you are, echoing the Delphic maxim. Today, the Socratic method thrives in fields like psychology, where therapists use it to help clients uncover hidden motivations, and in leadership training, where self-awareness drives effective decision-making, as seen in programs at institutions like MIT. For you, listener, self-knowledge is a practical superpower. In your career, ask, what are my true strengths? To align your work with your talents, avoiding the trap of chasing roles that don't fit. In personal life, journal nightly. What drove my actions today? Fear, duty, or passion? This mirrors Socrates' daily self-examination, building discipline by confronting your inner truths. Question your reactions. Why does criticism sting? Probe your ambitions. Are they yours or imposed? In modern contexts, think of leaders like those at Apple, who reflect on their values to innovate authentically, or artists who explore their identity to create resonant work. Self-knowledge is a map of your soul. Socrates a cartographer, his questions charting terrain of your being. Discipline lies in this daily mapping, resisting the comfort of self-deception, embracing the clarity of who you are. This practice wards off corruption, vanity, denial, or external pressures, forging a life of integrity. Start today. Ask, what do I value most? And let the answer guide one decision. Over time, this builds an ironclad discipline, aligning your actions with your core, leading to success as authentic self-expression. Yet self-knowledge reveals shadows, fears that lurk beneath, demanding confrontation. What fears chain your potential, whispering lies that hold you back? Socrates, the fearless interrogator of Athens, saw fear not as an enemy but as a teacher, a shadow to be questioned until it yields wisdom. In Plato's Laches, he debates courage with generals, asking, what is courage, and how do we face fear? His probing reveals fear as a signal, not a shackle, urging disciplined inquiry into its roots. Socrates lived as fearlessly. At his trial, facing death, he declared, to fear death is to think oneself wise when one is not, a testament to his disciplined mastery over fear's grip. His life was a series of confrontations with fear, ridicule, poverty, condemnation, each met with questions that turned dread into insight. Imagine him in Crito, imprisoned, as his friend urges escape. Socrates questions, should I fear death more than injustice? His refusal to flee wasn't stoicism. It was a disciplined choice to face fear, aligning with virtue over survival. In the Agora, he challenged youths like Charmides to confront fears of failure, as Xenophon recounts, guiding them to see fear as a call to self-examination. This wasn't bravado. It was a methodical practice, using fear as a mirror to reflect the soul's priorities. His death, sipping hemlock with calm, showed fear mastered through inquiry, a legacy etched in Plato's Phaedo. This courage shaped thinkers across time. Plato's dialogues, like Phaedo, explore fear's role in the soul's journey, inspired by Socrates' defiance. Aristotle's ethics frame courage as a mean between fear and recklessness, rooted in Socratic questioning. Augustine faces fears of sin through introspective dialogues, Socratic in spirit. Nietzsche, though critical, admired Socrates' fearlessness, using it to confront existential dread in his own work. Today, the Socratic method in therapy helps clients question fears, phobias, anxieties, uncovering their origins, as seen in cognitive behavioral approaches. In leadership, it empowers executives to face uncertainty, as taught in programs at Wharton. Practically, confront your fears Socratically. When anxiety strikes, public speaking, career risks, ask, what exactly do I fear and why? Journal nightly. What fear stopped me today, and what's its root? In teams, question collective fears. Are we avoiding risk out of caution or cowardice? This mirrors Socrates' method, turning fear into a catalyst for growth. Consider athletes who analyze performance fears to improve, or entrepreneurs who question market risks to innovate, like those at SpaceX. Fear is a shadow, Socrates a light bearer, his questions dissolving its power. Discipline lies in facing fear daily, resisting its paralysis, building resilience for epic success. This confrontation clears the path for ethical living, where actions align with the soul's truth. In a world of competing voices, how do you choose what's right? Socrates, the moral compass of Athens, so ethical living is an art, crafted through disciplined questioning of one's actions and their alignment with virtue. In Plato's Gorgias, he challenges a rhetorician Gorgias. Is it better to do or suffer injustice? His questions strip away the allure of power, revealing ethical living as the soul's highest calling. Socrates embodied this, living simply, rejecting wealth for integrity, as Xenophon notes in Memorabilia. His trial, where he refused a compromise, declaring, I'd rather die than betray virtue, was a masterstroke of ethical art. Picture him guiding Alcibiades in Plato's Alcibiades' Eye, questioning ambition to steer toward justice. This wasn't moralizing. It was a disciplined craft, sculpting the soul through inquiry. His influence endures. Plato's Republic envisions a just society through ethical questioning. Aristotle's ethics define virtue as a habit, echoing Socrates. Augustine's moral theology draws on this. Nietzsche, redefining morality, still engages Socrates' ethical rigor. Today, the Socratic method in ethics courses at universities like Oxford fosters moral clarity, while in business, it guides leaders' ethical decisions, as seen in corporate governance training. Apply this art practically. Before acting, ask, is this just? In conflicts, question, am I prioritizing ego or fairness? Journal nightly, did my choices reflect virtue? This builds discipline, resisting corruption, greed, deceit, or apathy. Ethical living is a canvas. Socrates the artist, his questions painting a life of integrity. Start today. Align one decision with justice and watch it ripple toward epic success. This ethical foundation strengthens the resilience of truth, our next pillar. When lies tempt with easy victories, how do you hold fast to truth? Socrates, Athens' truth seeker, saw truth as a resilient flame, sustained through disciplined inquiry against the winds of falsehood. In Plato's Apology, he declares, I will speak the truth, whatever the cost, facing death rather than betraying it. His life was a testament to this resilience. Debating sophists like Protagoras, he exposed their relativism, insisting truth was absolute, as seen in Theaetetus. In prison, discussing the soul in Phaedo, he held truth above fear, his questions a shield against despair. His stories inspire. Confronting Anytus in the Agora, he questioned power's truth, sparking unease but clarity. Plato's dialogue preserved this, shaping his idealism. Aristotle's logic sought truth systematically. Augustine's faith pursued divine truth. Nietzsche, though skeptical, wrestled with Socrates' absolutism. Today, the Socratic method in journalism uncovers truth, as seen in investigative reporting, and in science, it drives inquiry, as at CERN. Practically, question claims, is this fact or opinion? Journal, did I seek truth today? Truth is a flame. Socrates its keeper, his questions fanning its glow. Discipline means guarding truth daily, resisting lies for a life of authentic success. This resilience fuels the soul's eternal quest, our final theme. What drives your soul to seek beyond the horizon, yearning for meaning? Socrates, the eternal seeker, saw life as a quest for the soul's truth, a disciplined journey toward wisdom and virtue. In Phaedo, facing death, he questions the soul's immortality, declaring, the true philosopher practices dying daily. This wasn't morbidity, it was a call to live with purpose, questioning each step to align with the eternal. In the Agora, he guided youths like Lysis to seek friendship's essence, as Plato recounts, making every dialogue a step in the soul's quest. His influence endures. Plato's forms seek eternal truths. Aristotle's teleology echoes his purpose. Augustine's quest of God mirrors it. Nietzsche, with the power, reimagines it. Today, the Socratic method in spirituality and philosophy seminars explores life's meaning. Practically, ask daily, what is my soul's purpose? Journal, did I seek meaning today? The soul's quest is a river, Socrates a guide, his questions steering toward eternity. Discipline means pursuing this quest, resisting distraction for a life of epic fulfillment. This eternal quest returns us to Socrates' core wisdom, ready to conclude. Return to that Athenian courtroom, where Socrates stood, his voice unwavering, facing death with questions still alive on his lips. His life, raw, defiant, luminous, offers a timeless blueprint for forging ironclad discipline and unleashing epic success. From the courage to question, sparking clarity in the Agora, to the humility of ignorance, sowing wisdom seeds. From the trial where truth clashed with power, to the unexamined life he deemed unworthy. From virtue as a soul's compass, to the dialogues bridging ignorance to insight, Socrates' philosophy is a living fire. His discipline of doubt turned uncertainty into strength. Adversity forged his resilience. Eudaimonia guided his purpose. His gadfly sting kept Athens awake. Self-knowledge mapped his soul. Fear's shadows yielded to his light. Ethical living painted his integrity. Truth's flame burned through lies, and the soul's eternal quest drove him toward the infinite. Condemned by Athens, he became history's beacon, his influence rippling through Plato's academy, Aristotle's logic, Augustine's faith, and Nietzsche's rebellion. Today, his method sharpens minds in classrooms, therapies, and boardrooms, urging you to question the noise of modern life, social media's clamor, conformity's pull, fear's grip, and align with truth. To honor Socrates is not to memorize his words, but to embody his spirit. Ask daily, what is true? What is just? What is my purpose? Journal your fears, doubts, and values, letting each question chisel your soul into alignment with virtue. In your career, challenge assumptions to innovate. In relationships, seek truth to build trust. In solitude, probe your heart to find meaning. This disciplined inquiry resists corruption, dogma, distraction, despair, crafting a life not of fleeting winds, but of enduring fulfillment. Socrates' final moments, sipping hemlock with serene defiance, whisper challenge, live examined, or not at all. His questions are your tools, his courage your guide, his wisdom your fire. As this documentary fades, let his voice linger, urging you to question fiercely, live authentically, and forge a legacy that echoes through eternity, timeless, human, forever awake.